Time. Hi everyone. We're back again. It's time to chat more Charmed. So this month we are chatting about season 1, episodes 11 and 12, which brings us officially to the midway point of season 1, which is kind of unbelievable that it's come so quickly. It's all the episodes are just vanishing before our eyes. It's lucky that we have another Chelley, my glamorous co-host. Is she going to pop up like a little Wendigo?
Gosh.
There you are.
Hello. You okay?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I can't believe we're halfway through.
The halfway mark of season 1 is crazy.
I can't believe it.
I know. Just like,
Crazy.
yeah, it's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially after those really two good episodes last month. I was gonna say
Yeah,
last week then.
I
But
know.
yeah, those two episodes last month. Oh, they were so good.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they were a very hard act to follow.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hi everyone. Hi Melina.
Hello.
Hi Sharon. So for those joining us for the first time, every month we are rewatching Charmed from the very beginning. Charmed is the 90s TV series that ran from 1998 until 2006, and it followed three witchy sisters, Prue, Piper, and Phoebe, who juggle their everyday lives with saving innocents from naughty demons.
Yeah.
So last month, as Shelley just mentioned, we chatted about episodes 9 and 10, which were lots of thumbs up
I think
around on that.
we both gave them both 5 stars.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were really
season
good.
highlight.
Yeah, definitely.
But so if you missed that chat, then you can rewatch it. If you go to either mine or Shelley's profile, you can watch it from there. And as I mentioned, this month we are chatting about episodes 11 and 12 of the first season. And we'll be breaking down each episode by different categories, including Demon of the Week, the Sister Bond, mythology, and Sign of the Times, all that fun stuff. So please jump in the comments, chat along with us.
Yeah.
We love it when you guys tell us what you think about different parts of the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and it's always so hard, when I've watched them, not to message you and go,
I
Josh,
know.
No, I think no, I'll wait and see authentic thoughts on
Exactly,
the
save it
chat.
up. It makes it, I
Yeah.
know it's so difficult not to be like, did you see that little look that
Yeah.
so and so gave so and so?
It's so hard. I just want to message you and be like, Josh.
I know. But I like
Oh,
that you put on your stories when you're watching the episode, so I know that you're watching it, and I can
yeah.
almost psychically link with you
Like,
while you're watching.
oh, my mind to your mind.
Yeah, yeah. Hi
Oh,
everyone. Hi Nick. How's
hi,
it going?
Nick.
Welcome. Hello, sisters.
Hello, sisters.
Hello. Should we jump into episode 11?
Yeah, let's
Awesome.
do
Let's
it.
do it. So this is season 1, episode 11, Feats of Clay. How many feats does he have? I guess we'll find
Has he
out.
got a feet fetish?
Yeah.
Never
Does he
know.
like wearing clay on his face? Oh no.
Whoa.
Started early.
Yeah.
Put the kids to bed.
Yeah, this isn't for children.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Oh.
So I'll give you a quick sort of synopsis for the episode. So Phoebe receives a blast from the past when her ex-boyfriend Clay shows up out of the blue. Clay is arriving from a trip to Egypt, and he has a beautiful urn in tow that he wants Prue to sell at auction at Buckland's auction house. But he and the sisters have no idea that the stolen urn is in fact cursed, and that the guardian of the urn basically wants him to die because he's a bad man.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Piper plays Cupid with her co-workers, and Prue contends with a no-nonsense new boss.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. That's what's going on. So I'm going to kick off the chat this time with Love is Pain because it feels
Oh,
like this episode is very much about a certain relationship, a romance.
yeah.
So Clay is a musician who Phoebe met at the Rainbow Room or the Rainbow Moon,
It
one of
just
those
sounds
two
like a
things.
really like dodgy bar as well, doesn't it? Like, you know.
It either sounds like the most fabulous gay club or it
Yeah.
sounds really
Or
seedy.
it sounds like a sea. Yeah, like yeah, definitely one extreme to the
Exactly, exactly.
other.
Um, so Phoebe was working as a hostess at the Rainbow Room
Yeah.
in New York, and they she broke up with Clay. She moved back to San Francisco with her sisters. It's been five
Mm,
months since they saw each other, and he's supposedly stuck in San Francisco on a layover or something.
yeah.
But he comes and seeks Phoebe out, and then she has a sexy premonition about Clay.
Ooh.
Um,
We're just gonna call him Sexy Clay because
Sexy Clay.
oh, ooh la la.
Are you missing Sexy Rexy?
Well, he did. Sexy Clay did fill the void. I mean, he was like kind of like sexy, dangerous, like, and he had that kind of look, didn't he, about him? And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, doesn't look as like as pure as Rex, even though Rex isn't pure, obviously. But
yeah,
yeah, but not like yeah, he looked like he was a bad boy.
yeah. No one that attractive is nice. We've
No,
mentioned this before. If you're hot,
yeah,
you're evil.
yeah, definitely.
So what are your thoughts on Clay? Like, did you like him as a character?
Yeah, I really liked him, and it's weird because he gave me Cole vibes,
Yeah,
like real Cole vibes, and I thought I wondered whether this was like the setup where they then thought of Cole like later down the line, because
yeah.
I was just kept thinking it was him, like it was weird, but yeah, I kind of liked him. I mean, yeah, okay. He stole a vase from Egypt. He released an ancient curse which just looked like a holographic sticker
It did.
disappearing and appearing on the vase, which I'm sure we'll get into. But
Yeah,
yeah, I kind of liked him, and I loved how we found out more about Phoebe from her New York Times and like their relationship, and yeah, I really liked him. I thought he was all right.
ah, yeah.
Yeah, how about
He's
you?
Yeah, he's all right. He's kind of he's set up in the very first scene when we first meet him breaking into this posh, where is it, an apartment in Egypt.
I thought it was a
Um, is it a
museum. I
museum?
don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Maybe
It
it
was
wasn't. I just automatically presumed. I think
it
it
was
couldn't
quite
have been.
difficult to tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that I don't think they had the budget to go to Egypt, but
No, you never
you know,
know.
you never know. It looked like Egypt, right?
It did, yeah. It looked like a set out the mummy.
Yeah, yeah, it really did a lot. I
Yeah.
was trying to remember, like this was the same year as The Mummy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
1999
Nine.
this would have been. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they
Oh, they probably just used one of them sets then.
probably, yeah. Yeah, I liked him. So in that very first scene when we first meet Clay, the characters that he's with, who are his two friends that help him steal the
Mm,
urn, they sort of are very quick to point out that Clay is nervous about the break-in. He
mm,
doesn't know about the curse. So we're kind of supposed to think he's more of a nice guy than
yeah.
the really like thick thief that
Yeah.
his friends are,
Yeah, it kind of
I
gives him
think.
a bit of a different motive, I guess, doesn't it? To make
Yeah,
you like him as a viewer.
exactly.
Yeah, it worked on
Yeah,
me. I was well,
yeah.
it was the looks really.
He was very
It was
easy on the
very easy
eye,
on the eye. Yeah.
very
What
nice
was
to look
his?
at.
His name's Victor Brown in real life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Victor Brown.
Yeah, Victor
Wow.
Brown. It
Okay.
doesn't suit his name, like
No,
Victor.
I thought he'd be like something a bit more sort of European, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I thought he was kind of an interesting idea, but I found like there wasn't really much depth to his character.
Yeah. He was
I
a
didn't
bit
know.
like two dimensional, wasn't he, really? He was what he said on the tin, kind of thing, and that
Yeah,
was it. Yeah.
exactly. But like, do you think that he actually liked Phoebe, or was he just using her to get to Prue?
I feel that he did like Phoebe. They definitely must have had like a real connection in New York. And I feel like that was reciprocated and they had something special. He obviously had done something like cheated on her or something like that. But I did feel that he was like, oh wow, I didn't expect to rekindle something. I was just going to use
Yeah.
you for Prue, but now I want to rekindle. I
He's
mean,
like, oh,
who?
Phoebe, you've got a haircut. You look amazing.
Yeah, he was like full
Yeah.
on with the compliments, and Phoebe was loving
Yeah.
it as well. I saw Nick
Brilliant.
said Phoebe's hussy era.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Her
definitely.
wild New York nights.
Yeah, but no, I think
Yeah.
he was into her. I don't think originally that was the plan, but I think once he saw her, he was like,
Mm.
"This is what I've been missing."
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned Cole because just like not really a spoiler, but slightly a spoiler. In an episode of season three, Phoebe asks, or like there's a what am I trying to say? Phoebe asks kind of a fortune teller the name
Mm.
of her first love or something,
Oh yeah, and it's a
and it's an
C.
apple peel, and it creates a C.
See, yes, I remember
Yeah.
that.
And it was like, oh, so she assumes Cole, but she completely forgets that Clay even exists in that moment.
Clay who?
Yeah, Clay, whatever. The Clay
Yeah.
over.
And then like later down the line, I can't remember his name now, but there's another C love interest, I'm sure.
Oh, Cupid, Coop.
Yeah, Coop, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so it still works out.
Oh, yeah, it does.
It's
Ah,
like the
someone thought
biggest
about
loves of her
that.
life always start with
Yeah.
C for some reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um, so Sharon says the oldest sister defense kicked in. Oh, I think I've missed something there. Nick says it was lovely to see Prue's protection over Phoebe come out in that episode. Yeah. So then
Oh, yeah,
Sharon says the
definitely.
older sister defense kicked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Stargazer says that Egyptian curse lady got the hang of conversational English in a flash. She was even using contractions. Yeah. Yeah, very convenient that she speaks English.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Sharon says we've all been through the bad boy phase. Yeah, quite a
Yeah,
few times, I
that's
have to
it.
say.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
Phoebe always picks the bad boys.
Yeah, she does. She's got that little
Yeah,
part of her that loves a bad boy.
yeah,
Loves a
definitely.
bit of drama. Maybe it's like the youngest sibling thing, just needs a bit of drama.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
just let you know, I've frozen my thing again, so I can't see any comments.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I've done. I don't, every time you host and I press something and it freezes
Ah.
everything. So I don't know what I've
You're
done.
like Piper.
Yeah, that's
No
it.
comments.
It's just my special power. What can I say? Oh dear. Yeah,
Stargazer
that's
says,
it.
I loved the clay part of the Feats of Clay episode. I kept hoping he'd need to bend
Me
over and pick
too.
up Leo's toolbox.
He was a
Yeah.
good substitute. I mean, he's no Leo, but he was a good
Yeah.
little substitute in that moment.
Nice bit of
Definitely.
eye candy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Stargazer says the best gay clubs are seedy. I mean, yeah, it
Well,
is true. Yeah. Nick says he definitely got a layover about Clay, and yeah, absolutely
oh,
true.
definitely.
Yeah. And Stargazer says that there is an E on the end of Brown, which is European, so I stand corrected.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
So
Oh,
funny how
you
that
was
little E
right.
at the end makes him a million times more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
more interested than I was before, and I was very interested
Yeah.
before. Oh
Um,
dear.
I did love the cheekiness when they're upstairs in Phoebe's bedroom and he's kissing her neck and there's that
Mm.
romantic music and then she's like, stop, 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 and
No.
the music cuts out and then she's like, okay, go, 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 go. It starts up again. That was
Yeah, I
very
liked
funny.
that. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
obviously when then Prue walks in on them having sexy
They were
times.
upstairs in Phoebe's bedroom having sex and Piper's in the living room.
I know.
Just like having a cozy evening. I thought,
Yeah,
couldn't you have
yeah.
waited a bit longer?
She's probably like, oh, Phoebe's at it again. They're probably used to it
Yeah,
by now.
yeah. Frisky Phoebe.
Yeah.
So, would you have wanted to see more Clay, or were you glad? Not, clothing wise, obviously, we know how you feel about that. Um, But would you have wanted him to do like a multi-episode arc, or are you happy just to have him in this one episode?
No, I think I was happy to have him in the one episode because, as you mentioned, there wasn't much depth to him. Maybe like down the line in like another series just to make an appearance, especially as
Hmm.
like the episode is named after him. Like that's a
Yeah.
big thing. That's the first time that an episode so far has been named after one of the like sub characters, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you kind of think, oh, it's going to be a big deal. But maybe they were planning to do something and they changed it for Cole. I'm convinced.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one final love pain that we're going to talk about. Um,
Oh,
oh, maybe
is
I don't know. I don't know if it's the thing
oh
that you're thinking. I don't know.
oh. Okay, go on.
So it's Andy making a late appearance
Oh
in the
well, still
episode.
Andy. Yeah,
Yeah, Andy.
yeah, Andy.
It was a bit of a shock when he suddenly popped up. He doesn't appear until
It's
half
like
an hour
about
into the
20 minutes
episode.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
He
he
pops up in a crime scene.
yeah, good old Andy, always there in the background.
Yeah,
But
solving all the crime in San Francisco.
solving every single crime. But I always have like throughout all these chats, I'm always like, oh, I'm not sure about Andy. No, I love Andy. No, I'm not sure. But in these
Yeah.
2 episodes, I actually really liked him again.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was
I was
like,
going to say, let's check
Team
the
Andy.
temperature on Andy right now.
Yeah, I was in these.
Well, he kind of, it's sweet because he says to Prue, you can always call me. And there's a sense of
Yeah.
mutual respect and love that has like not romantic for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you can tell, like, he'll always be there for her. She will always be there for him, but they just are not destined to be together.
Yeah. It's
Kind of
not working
vibe.
out, is it?
Yeah.
They can't trust each
Bless.
other.
No. But
She
I
can't
feel
trust
like,
him.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
Well, she can't trust him because she doesn't trust anyone with the family secret outside of the family.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, there was the episode where she tells him the truth and it goes badly, but she doesn't exactly give him long to consider the
No, she
reality of her
doesn't.
being a witch.
She's like,
And
do
he
you
doesn't
do you
trust
believe
her.
me? Do you?
Yeah, tell me now, quick. And then obviously he doesn't trust her because she keeps popping up in weird places, crime scenes and stuff. So
Yeah. And I
yeah,
was just going to say, like, I feel like in these 2 episodes, he's a little bit more open-minded to things.
yeah,
And maybe that is the Prue effect of what has happened. So now, I mean, he was always open-minded anyway, but now I just feel like he's a little bit more, like he's like starting to get there with it a little bit.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you more about that when we talk about the next episode because he kind of
Yeah,
plays quite a big role
definitely.
in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So Stargazer says Andy, but now with even more hair gel. Yeah.
So much hair
Exactly.
gel. It doesn't move like at all, does it?
Ross. It's very Ross. And also says Clay might not have been Mr. Right, but he could be Mr. Right now. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He definitely
definitely.
was. Nick says the music in the early episodes was very reminiscent of an extremely bad Blue movie. Yeah, there are moments.
Yeah, I
There are
think
definitely moments of
especially
that.
as well if you're watching it on the digital rather
Yeah,
than like a Blu-ray or a DVD, because obviously they took all the music away and it really sounds like
yeah,
porn music.
it does.
Boom,
Yeah,
chicka, wow,
yeah.
wow. It's really bad.
Oh dear. Sharon says I'm over Andy, TBH, which fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah, fair enough.
okay.
Well, we're halfway through the season, so we've only got another half season with him, Sharon. I don't know if that
Yeah.
changes your mind. You're gonna miss him when he's gone.
Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah. Nick says that Andy demanded far, far too much from Prue. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Like, I know
Yeah.
they have history. Calm down, dude. She doesn't owe you anything. Or is that just me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because they've known each other
Oh.
for so long, it's difficult to separate that stuff out, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, that's interesting how I kind of liked him in
Yeah.
these two. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm always hot and cold with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you know.
Yeah. I'm in and I'm out. Oh no, not
Yeah.
like
Oh dear. Not tonight, Chelley.
that. No. Too tired. I've got a headache.
let's move on to work it.
Yeah.
Work it.
Work it.
Work it. We should get some sound effects for this
We
even.
should, yeah, we really should.
Prue is going back to work after the showdown with Rex.
Yeah.
And there's a new boss who is Claire Price, who is
Claire, yeah.
she's been assigned by the bank to try to save Buckland's auction house, which has pretty much been run into the ground by the fact that it was being run by a demon for the
By
last
Sexy Rexy.
by Sexy Rexy.
Yeah.
Sexy, not so good with the cash, apparently.
Yeah.
So they need to make 1.2 million in inventory at the auction, which is quite a big ask, especially in 1998. Like in now money, that's probably about 20 million, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
So how do you, obviously we miss Rex, but how do you feel about Claire as a replacement boss?
Yeah, I really I liked the way how honest she was. Like I think she says something like, "I don't know anything about auction houses, even less about art. But what I do know is, bottom line, we need to make this money." And I kind of liked it because I'm like, oh, okay, so you don't know anything, but you're willing to like, what's she gonna get out of it? Like, she's been paid by her boss, which is the bank, so she doesn't, yeah, it's a
Nothing to
job.
lose.
But yeah, so I kind of liked that. And I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give her a due. She's trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved her because in retrospect, she is Mama Petrelli from Heroes.
Oh, I couldn't picture who she was. Oh, I can picture
Yeah.
it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so
So
good in
she's
that.
awesome. I'm a sucker for like a steel-toed matriarch, and that's
Yeah.
completely the vibe that she brought to this.
Yeah, I loved her.
So,
Yeah.
and also like she's fair. So, when Prue does actually succeed and makes over 1.2, she makes 1.28 million
Yeah.
at the auction. She congratulates Prue and says she did a good job.
Yeah. And that's what you need in a
Yeah,
boss. That's
firm
good.
but fair.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I liked her.
It's nice to have a new sort of sheriff in town, as Prue calls her.
Mm,
Just kind of shake up the Buckland vibe, stop it getting
yeah.
too stale.
Yeah, and I loved how, like, even though with what Prue had been through with Rex and Hannah, how trusting she still was of Claire. Like,
Yeah,
she didn't even question that, was she from the bank? Is she who she says she is? She's just like, yeah,
yeah,
okay, let's get shit done. And that's
yeah.
it.
She's like someone that badass is just no way she's a demon. She's too cool.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like Prue would really respect Claire
yeah,
Price.
definitely. I
Yeah.
loved that.
Did you notice just how easy it is to break into the auction house, though?
Yeah,
Like one of
so
Clay's
easy.
pals is like hiding in Prue's office, but you'd think that somewhere that has all of this sort of all these artifacts that are priceless,
Yeah, see,
they
no
would just walk in the front
CCTV.
door.
Yeah, because that was a bit creepy because he's like he's not even like behind the door. He's kind of like behind like an alcove bit. He just
Yeah,
like comes out this like side corner.
yeah,
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 and like nobody sees him go in there into Prue's office or anything.
yeah.
Oh,
Security,
yeah,
security.
so bad. And
Yeah,
we know Prue's office is like up there in like one of the high floors because of obviously the demon
yeah,
falling out the window. So it's not like he hasn't got
yeah.
to go in the like elevator in the lift.
He's gone a long
It's gone a
way.
long way, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Stargazer says Buckland's auctioned house went into receivership. That's what it's called in the US when the bank takes over to secure
Ah,
assets. Cool.
yeah. Okay.
Nice. Good knowledge. Sharon liked Claire. She was honest. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was very honest, very
yeah,
good. Speedway Chicks is the character that plays Claire. I've seen her somewhere else, but I can't remember where.
yeah. So
Um,
maybe, yeah,
yeah,
heroes.
she's like one of those actors that's just like brilliant. She's in everything.
Yeah. She has
Oh,
got
was
such
she
a
in
familiar
Sabrina?
face. Oh, okay.
Was Sabrina also on the WB? Can't remember now.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I don't
Wasn't
remember her being in any of the sort of WB promo
no,
stuff. So maybe
no.
it wasn't.
She
Um, yeah.
has got such a familiar face though.
Yeah. Oh, Stargazer says, I thought that too. You could walk off with anything from Buckland's, no wonder it's broke. Everyone just keeps taking their stuff.
I love that.
Um, Okay, so like another work thing that goes on in this episode
Which is why I went,
is
oh, early, because that's what I thought he was going
okay.
to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It could have been in Love is Pain, but I popped it in
yeah,
work because it's kind of a
yeah,
work
because it
thing.
is a work
Yeah.
problem.
So Piper is having, not Peeper, Piper
Are you
is
sure, Josh? Not Peeper
definitely
this week.
Piper. Uh,
Piper.
she's having a hard time at work because of her co-workers Doug and Shelley.
I know. I was like, oh, it's me.
Moi?
I know. I was like,
Epic
oh,
chant.
I have to write my own name down.
Yeah, you're in the show.
I know. I love that. That was cool.
Doug and Shelley broke up recently because
Mm,
basically Shelley wanted Doug to sort of like put a ring on it, and Doug was too
yeah.
scared to. And so now Doug is a
Classic.
nervous wreck around work. He keeps dropping all the glasses, all the cutlery. Every time Shelley walks past, Shelley. It would happen with this Shelley as well, I'm sure.
It'd probably be me falling though. That's the difference. Like, 'cause I'm really clumsy.
Nice. Oh, there she goes again.
There she goes again. That's what Kev says regularly. He's like, "Oh God, what's she done now?"
Just how extreme his reactions were, sort of like, like really throwing things over his shoulder and stuff.
He was like real, like he was over
Yeah,
exaggerating.
he was a
But I
mess.
think he was doing that to get Shelley's attention. 100%.
Yeah.
Like he knew, yes, he was accident prone. Yeah, he was dropping stuff. But if you're going to drop something in style. That's what I do.
Yeah, and be
I
like,
like,
oops, I'm so
oh,
sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
clumsy little me.
Oh, but yeah, I think he was like over exaggerating the throw.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah, with his little
What playing it.
90s curtains.
Such a boy band.
So 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, but he was so cute.
So,
Oh,
yeah, so like, did you like Doug? Did you think he
oh, I
was like,
love Doug. I want to see
okay,
more of Doug.
oh,
In many ways, but in the show.
stop talking about nudity,
I
Shelley.
know, I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Sunday fun day for Shelley.
But yeah, no, oh, I thought, oh, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
just
do
loved
kind of wish
him.
that I kind of would have liked to have seen them have a bit of an arc. So
Yeah.
like maybe they would have ended up the sisters going to the wedding later on in the season, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, just to
Oh.
see that progression for them.
And I love how like
Um,
Piper is told to sack him and she's like, no, I'm
yeah.
gonna try and help him as much as I can. And she
Well, I
does.
love that because she must really empathize with Doug because Piper has been
Yeah.
so unlucky in love
Yeah.
that
Bless
she,
her.
she respects this sort of like dorky, desperately trying to do the right thing, but quite can't
Yeah.
quite get there. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
like that shows us another side of her character where she kind of goes, I know, I get you. I'm looking
Yeah.
out for you.
Yeah, and I like that. She didn't
Yeah,
follow the instruction of sacking him. She was like, no, I need to give him an extra chance and
exactly. And
help him. Oh,
she casts a spell on him to give him a confidence boost,
double
which
dose.
double doses it because he is such a dweeb that he needs the
Yeah,
extra help.
the double
He's
dose.
a double dweeb. And it backfires and he becomes too confident and,
Oh,
all that typical hijinks.
that scene when they go and all the women around the bar, and
Yes.
then he tries to like crack on with Phoebe as well, and
Uh,
Piper's like, off limits, no
no,
way.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
So
that.
the thing is that at the end of the episode, Prue is the one who fixes the problem because Piper has spent the whole episode freezing Doug's calamities, trying to fix them, trying to watch his back,
Yeah,
but she doesn't actually come up with a solution beyond the backfiring spell. It's
yeah,
Prue. Prue's the one who grabs the ring box out of his pocket and puts it on the floor for
mm,
Shelley to find. So
yeah.
how did you feel about the fact that it was Prue who fixed the problem rather than Piper?
I think that it's true to character. Like Prue does
Yeah.
tend to swoop in, doesn't she, and be the one in control. But there is, I don't know whether it's in this episode or the next episode, where Piper or Phoebe says, "Oh, you need to stop trying to control things all the time.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that Prue did that. It's like, I don't think Piper would have thought about that. She thought she was
Yeah.
doing good in what she was doing, and
Yeah.
that's it. Whereas Prue thought ahead a little bit. So yeah, I think it's very true to character. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way. If I feel like older Piper would have had a
Mm,
lot less patience for it, and she would have just been like, "Oh, just take the flipping ring," and done it.
yeah,
She would have done what Prue did.
yeah.
But younger Piper hasn't quite come to that place of confidence yet, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, she's still got a lot
Yeah.
to learn in that respect. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah. She
like
needs to come into her own.
that.
Sharon says, "Don't they sound like children's TV presenters?" I think she means Doug and Shelley.
With our hand puppets. Hello.
Yes. Uh, okay, so right now let's talk about the demon of the week. We've
Oh,
kind of
yes.
we've danced around the demon in the room a little bit here, so let's actually tackle her head on. So the baddie this week is the guardian of the urn, who
Mm,
she presents as a woman in Egyptian garb,
yeah.
and she basically comes for anybody who tries to steal this essentially priceless urn,
Mm,
and she punishes them by bringing to life her assortment of animal themed sort of what are they, jewelry
jewelry, I
bits
guess.
and
Yeah,
bobs.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she's got like a tarantula one, she's got like a scorpion brooch, she's got a really cool
Yeah, it is really
snake
cool.
bracelet,
Yeah.
which was giving massive Labyrinth vibes, you know,
Yes,
when David
I
Bowie
thought
throws the
that.
snake at Sarah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
lovely.
But the thing is that this villain isn't necessarily a villain.
Mm,
She's kind of like doing things based on a very black and white moral viewpoint. So she's punishing
yeah,
people who, in her view, have done wrong by stealing the urn.
yeah.
Um, so did you like this sort of like different spin on a villain that's maybe a little bit more complex than we've seen
Mm.
previously?
Yeah, I liked her. Well, first of all, I have to compliment her outfit because
Oh my God,
wow, like,
yes.
chef's kiss, and she wore
Those
it so
that
well.
jingly sort of beaded
Oh,
hair was
just
amazing.
so good. But like, I liked the fact that she was just doing as she should, protecting the vase. But what I wanted to know was a little bit more of her backstory, like how did she come to be? Like, why was she protecting the vase? Like, just a little
Hmm.
bit more depth to her, just so then I could, like, maybe sympathize with her a little bit more, or just gel with her a little bit more. But yeah,
Yeah,
in the respect of like that, she's not our usual type of demon going after the sister. She's just
right.
doing, protecting what is rightfully hers. I'm guessing, or what she's been
Yeah,
told to protect. Um,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. What did
I
you think?
thought
Did you like her?
I agree the costume was absolutely amazing.
Oh, so good.
The push-up bra was maybe not period realistic, but
They
you know.
were just natural like that.
Okay. I kind of love that she travels by a sticker,
The
like
sticker thing did make me laugh because I was like, oh, so she just flutters about with this
yeah,
sticker,
yeah,
just places herself. Like, when was if she got stuck somewhere random? Like, what would happen?
stuck in customs
Yeah,
forever.
some little sticker. Um,
Rats.
but I did kind of like that in a weird kind of way. Like, it worked,
Yeah, it was
but
fun.
yeah, it was
It was
fun.
super fun. I kind of
Yeah.
I felt a bit bad for her because she basically has maybe three lines in the entire episode,
Mm.
and at least two times she just says, "You're being punished for your greed," and
Yeah,
that's it.
I know.
Um,
That's what I mean. We
so
needed more of her. Like, I just wanted
yeah,
more.
I think when I first watched this episode, I really wanted more of her, but this time around, I think it was quite refreshing that we've just
Mm.
had two quite demon-heavy episodes
Yeah,
to then
that's
have
true.
this episode, which is kind of more soapy, more about the romance and the relationship stuff,
Mm. Yeah,
and the guardian of the urn barely gets a look in, to be honest,
yeah. It's
which is
just kind of
different.
like, yeah, it's just kind of like in the background a little bit just to try and give justification to have that love interest for Phoebe, maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
I liked it. And I kind
yeah,
of liked how she did have this like ethereal, otherworldly thing going on. I loved the
yeah,
way that her voice was really echoey, almost like she was
yeah,
still inside the urn kind of thing, you know? It was
yeah. I
like,
love that.
it was
Yeah.
very cool.
And I loved as well
Um,
how she was quite a fair person. So,
yeah,
you know, we see a lot of these demons and they're just like, they're not fair.
ruthless.
Yeah, they just go, ruthless and that's it. But she was fair. She's like, okay, fair enough,
Yeah.
Clay sacrifices himself. I'm gonna
Hmm.
poof back into my holographic sticker and and go back into my
Zip,
vase.
zip back to Egypt.
Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah,
and then just miraculously appears back in Egypt. But
yeah.
I feel like that's fair. That was fair play.
It was. It was
Yeah,
absolutely fair play. And to be
yeah.
honest, I mean, the urn didn't look like it would actually fetch that much money at auction. It
No,
was such a, it was such a papier-mâché kind of theatre
it
prop.
really was. When they said like they got the piece of paper and they were like it's worth a fortune, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Okay. I really respect the way
Yeah.
they tried to sell it like they really sold that this thing was so precious. And when Prue's kind of like going, oh, it's embossed gold and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
So
got
well done, Shannon
scorpion on
Doherty.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's when Andy walks in and he's like, "Oh, a scorpion? How appropriate!" And I'm like, "Oh, is that what it is?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Stargazer says that was a next level curse costume. Totally.
Yeah,
It did kind of look like she'd stepped in from Goosebumps.
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Uh, Sharon says motherhood kills your patience. I'm not sure what that's about. Don't know.
Mm.
Sharon says mixing up Egyptian curses, but she was a great adversary. Yeah.
Ah, okay,
She
yeah.
was living her Wonder Bra era.
She was.
Stargazer loved the sticker as well. Everyone loves the sticker.
Oh, the sticker. Oh dear.
Yeah. And Stargazer also says, I wondered why the curse didn't just flash the urn back to Egypt in the first place, if she could do it the whole time. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think she was hell bent on punishing, wasn't she? So
Yeah, I
she
think
was like,
so.
I'm gonna get my three men, and then I'm gonna go back home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's what I mean. She was fair. Like, that's all she needed to do. That was her
Hmm.
job. That's the curse. That's it. She wasn't
Yeah.
like trying to get more or like trying to go after the sisters' powers and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
As the famous saying goes, all is fair in curses and wonder bras.
Oh, I like that one. I'm going to use that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right, the sister bond. Should we move on to the sister bond?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Phoebe tells Prue that she is being. Does Phoebe say this or Piper? Says that Prue is being judgmental about
Mm,
Clay. Oh, my
I can't.
stand's gone down.
Oh,
Oh, how embarrassing!
it's the urn lady.
Yeah,
She's coming for
you're being
you.
punished for your greed. Which Prue does actually admit that she's judging Clay.
Mm,
She doesn't trust him. She's not entirely
yeah.
sure why. So do you think that in that moment, Prue is sort of missing maybe a bit of romance in her life? You know, she admits that she peaked on Phoebe and Clay, not during their special moment, but at the beginning of the episode
Yeah,
when they
she does
just
admit that.
were chatting. Do you
Yeah.
think she's missing romance?
I don't think that's what it was. I think it's just classic Prue going back to like the first episode. If you think of
Hmm.
how, like, when Phoebe first comes, she's just going into classic, like, oh, what's Phoebe up to now? Phoebe just can't be trusted to make decisions for herself. I have to step in. So I think it's just classic Prue of, it's not even like it's kind of a protection thing, but it's more like, oh, Phoebe's going to mess up again kind of vibe.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
yeah. Phoebe doesn't know well enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so. I don't think it's like that she's missing out or she's jealous or anything. I just think it's like, oh, I've got to sort Phoebe
Oh,
out again.
Phoebe. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, I kind of think the same thing. But
Yeah.
there is a really nice moment where Prue says to Phoebe, I can worry about my younger sister, can't I? And
Mm.
Phoebe says, don't ever stop.
Yeah. So
So
Phoebe
what did you
likes
think of,
it.
yeah, what did you think of that moment? Like, was that a realistic exchange for them?
I think so.
You
Very
think so?
realistic for them. And I think so in generally in real life as well, because like I feel like I would probably say that to like my sibling and they
Mm,
would probably say that back to me. So like yeah, I would say it's like realistic in life as well.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
big, big change from when they
Yeah.
first got back together in the first episode, where they're
Yeah.
like so at loggerheads.
Yeah, and it just shows how like far they've come in just like
Yeah,
12, well, 11 episodes. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
I loved it.
Um, there's also Piper and Phoebe have like a little
Mm,
walk together. They talk about second chances and love, and it's like a
yeah.
really lovely little scene, like shot on location. It's not in the studio, it's on the
Yeah.
street.
I loved that scene. It was
Um,
so
it's
cool.
great, yeah. And it's
Yeah,
the
it was
first
so cool.
time that they've discussed how long the sisters will actually realistically live together. And that
Yeah.
becomes sort of like a recurring theme across the whole of the show because,
Mm,
in your 20s and your 30s, would you really still be living with your siblings?
yeah, that's true. You'd want to be
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that scene where they're just like walking, and just having like a little heart to heart.
Yeah.
Um, I think what did I write? I just put yeah, talking about their past, and I really enjoyed that. Is what I've written there.
Hmm.
Um, and then I've put the kind of it like carries the episode a little bit more because it gives it a little bit more depth to the relationship with Clay. A little bit from
Yeah.
Phoebe's side, like she, you quite clearly know he meant a lot to her, even from that like little chat with Piper. I
Yeah,
loved it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did like the fact that we got more of an insight into Phoebe's past life in
Yeah,
New
I love
York.
that.
We've had
Yeah.
little glimpses of it, in the Fourth Sister, when she
Yeah.
befriends the young witch. There's a bit of it there.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it was nice to see that developed.
I think as well, like the perception we were given of Phoebe from Prue, let's say, like at the
Hmm.
beginning, like I just think every episode where Phoebe just proves that theory wrong.
Mm,
And I love it because you're just seeing her grow so much, and I can see why Phoebe was so many people's favourite
yeah,
back in the day as well.
yeah,
Just because, like, she's just constantly, no, I'm not, I wasn't like that. I'm not like that. This is how I was, and this is how I am. Like, I don't
yeah,
think that's just because now she's got powers. I think she's just misunderstood.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, I
Being, I
love
mean, being
that.
the youngest must be so tough
Yeah, yeah.
in
She's
in
always
a
trying to
family of
prove
strong,
herself.
deep characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Sharon says that I think Prue is suspicious of everyone. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
Sharon also says, as the oldest, I'm the same with my sisters. So,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
realistic. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stargazer says, you would live with your siblings as long as you could if you were trying to make it in San Francisco on San Francisco prices. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
I'd love to go to San Francisco. I think
Oh,
Eddie's video's been there like
ah,
just like this
cool.
past week, and he's been putting some stories up, and I'm like, wow, like I really want to
Yeah,
go.
it's cool. I was there last year.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, of
yeah,
course,
we
yeah.
drove we drove over the Golden Gate Bridge, which was awesome.
Oh
Really
wow. Oh
cool.
God, I'd be
Yeah.
screaming. I can't even go over the Bristol Suspension Bridge. Can you imagine me going over that one? Oh dear.
Speedway Chick says, especially in that beautiful house and with the power of three. I know that house.
Oh
I would never leave
yeah.
that house.
No,
It's
I
beautiful.
wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Be a nightmare to Hoover, but it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to mythology.
Ah, yeah.
I've got a couple of things written down, but is there anything for you that jumped out?
Yeah, so I've got obviously Piper displaying stronger control over her powers. That's a big,
Yeah.
big thing. So she's like just in those few episodes, she's developed it so she can freeze, unfreeze, more control.
Hmm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And obviously I wrote down about the charm potion and making it
Yeah.
like a double thing. And
Yeah. You
I
can
kind of
double things
liked
up.
that. You can double things up to make them stronger.
Yeah, yeah. You
What
don't
did
actually, it's funny that you don't actually see her casting the spell, do you? You just sort of
No, just walking
you see
like
it blow up and then
yeah, because I think they say, God, it's
yeah.
like London in here or
Yeah,
something
they do.
when they're walking. I love that. Oh dear. What did
Yeah.
you pick up? Did you pick up anything extra?
Um, I've got that she's getting a handle on her control of like
Yeah, I
unfreezing
love that.
things, she says, which is very cool. Because
Mm,
later on in the show, she is just like she can control it completely, like unfreeze,
yeah.
which is great. Um, so there's they mention a page in the book about the seven deadly sins, which is cool.
Oh
Because in
yeah.
season three we do get Sin
Mm.
Francisco, the episode about
Oh
the seven deadly
yes.
sins.
I remember that one.
So that was
Yeah.
fun. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if they actually planted it on purpose, but
Yeah.
it was cool to
Yeah.
have that there.
We like to think it was done on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. First time the show sort of went to Egypt,
Mm.
there is like another episode in season five that is sort of Egypt themed.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah.
it's funny comparing them because this one actually feels really quite restrained in the way that it deals with sort of Egyptian mythology and Egyptian iconography,
Mm. Yeah.
whereas maybe they had a bigger budget in season five. Although
Yeah.
I think they said that they lost, the budget was cut every year, so maybe they didn't.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but maybe they felt more confident in being sort of wackier in season five.
Mm.
So season
Yeah.
five, like they get turned into mummies and they're sort of like spinning around into sand and all this kind of stuff,
Oh, I
which is
love
really
that.
fun.
Yeah.
So
I love anything
yeah,
to do with like Egypt and that. There's just something about it, isn't
oh,
there?
the
Like when we
history.
did the mummy for the movie chat, there's just something just
Yeah,
about Egyptian mythology and
yeah.
things like that. I
It's
love
just
it.
so long ago. Like, isn't there that crazy fact that basically says Cleopatra was is closer in history to us than she is to the pyramids? Because they were
Oh,
so bloody long ago.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just can't
Wow.
imagine what the
Yeah.
world was like back then.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. I love
Yeah.
it.
And the final thing I caught, which is kind of more of a continuity type thing, is
Mm.
that this is the first time that we've had on-screen text saying San Francisco 3 days later,
Oh yeah, good
which
spot. Yeah.
the show doesn't really do that kind of thing. I
No,
think
it
it probably
doesn't give
does
you
it.
like a time frame, does
No,
it normally?
very
Yeah.
occasionally it'll do that, but very rarely.
Mm. Ah, nice spot. I
So
like
yeah, yeah.
that.
Cool, yeah. Oh, Melina says, I'd love to visit San Francisco too. Shelley, bucket list
Oh,
road trip?
yeah. Oh, that would be so
Yeah,
cool. Can you imagine?
yeah.
The
Sharon
dream.
says, love San Francisco, especially the Bay. Yeah, very
Oh,
cool.
wow. I really want to
With the
go.
stinky sea lions, very noisy, stinky sea lions, which are very
Oh,
funny to
I
watch.
love that.
Um, Stargazer says, I loved visiting San Francisco, but wouldn't want to live there. There's a lot of dark side there these days.
Oh, oh. Mm.
Yeah. Should we move on to Sign of the Times?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a show from the 90s, so clearly there are certain things that may have dated or changed.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you spotted?
So the main thing that I picked up was Phoebe's dress sense. Now, I know they all dress very 90s, but Phoebe to me is like how well,
Yeah,
not how I dress, how I would like to have dressed in the 90s,
right.
because I was very much like into
Emo.
Nirvana and yeah.
Yeah.
But like when occasionally if we went out, that's how I tried to dress. So
Dressed
like
up.
it was like the little strappy shoes. Like I think I've got a picture of me. I'll have to see if I can find it at my 18th, and it's just such a 90s picture. I've got like these little clips
Amazing.
in my hair. I've got
Yeah.
tights on with them strappy shoes like Phoebe was
Oh,
wearing.
that makes me
This
feel
little
unwell. Tights and strappy shoes. Oh,
I've got, and they were like nude colour tights as well. So like,
wow.
yeah.
Oh,
And then like there's this
gives me
like
chills.
black skirt with lace all around the bottom of it. I'll have to see if I can find it. It's hilarious. And I've got
Yes.
bleach blonde hair in it as well. I'll see if I
Whoa.
can find a copy. But yeah,
Amazing.
so Phoebe's fashion sense to me, and again, just cements me why so many people really loved Phoebe as well, because she was kind of like the one wearing like the fashionable things that we were probably all wearing in 1999.
Yeah. Is this the episode where she's got like the flower sort of
The
clips
big
in her
purple
hair?
clips, yeah,
Yeah,
we've all
yeah.
been there,
That was
Josh.
I was like, oh my God, okay.
They were a bit in your face, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were. I
Definitely.
couldn't stop staring at them.
It was so cool. And that kind of like fur lined coat, that faux fur, just round the trim coat, so 90s.
Yeah,
Oh, and I loved it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I noticed the fashion as well. Like Clay is wearing a leather jacket over a green polo shirt.
Oh,
Really quite
yeah.
unusual. And then Prue also has her, I presume it's sort of like PVC, it's fake leather.
Yeah, yeah.
Prue has her black leather jacket on as well.
Yeah, I love
It
it.
was like the vibe in the
Yeah,
90s.
it really was. I think like
Yeah,
obviously like just to capture like as a time capsule that it's just perfect. Like you
yeah,
just
I
look at it
love
and you
it.
see all the different fashions.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
completely. Lane's Library says, I want all of their clothes, dream
Oh,
closet. Absolutely.
yeah.
Do you
Oh
know, I
man.
think they did get to keep some of their clothes.
Mm.
Shelley, did you share the video of Holly Marie Coombs' son wearing the denim sort of sheepskin collared
Oh,
jacket that
yeah. I think
Shannon
I might have
Doherty
done, or
wore?
I've seen it. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, there was
yeah. I
apparently the
love
sisters
that.
would get like specific wardrobe selections for themselves that were separate
Yeah.
from the other actors.
Mm.
And in season three, there was this like denim jacket with a fake sheepskin collar
Ah,
in Piper's wardrobe.
yeah.
And Shannon Doherty saw it and she was like, "That's mine."
Oh, I
And
love that.
so she wears it in the ice cream episode in season three.
Oh, I love that. I love that
And
you know that as well, Josh. That's like amazing.
Instagram is my education. It's all over Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
But then then I think Shannon either gave it to Holly Marie Coombs' son or he
Mm,
took it from her, but he wears it now apparently. So
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
think she gave it him from what I remember.
uh,
With I think from what I
yeah,
saw.
it's a great
Oh,
jacket. Like it's
amazing.
kind of like
So good.
it's the Love Simon style jacket. He has it as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So cool. You'd
yeah.
have to get one, Josh.
I would love to have. I do have a denim jacket, but without that fake sort of
Yeah.
stuff around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stargazer says faux fur collars, sign of the time. Totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, Sharon says the clothes really date it. I loved faux fur in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, Melina says I had a bleach blonde hair phase too, Shelley.
See, we're twins. I swear, like I'm sure, like yeah, we was
Can
meant
you
to be.
remember sun in? I put too much on
Yes.
my hair.
Who said that? Melina said
Melina,
that.
yeah.
Me too. I burnt all like the ends of my hair. I've got a really bad picture of me with sun in. Like it looks awful.
Whoa. Is
Oh,
that the stuff that
sun
makes your hair
in.
go green?
Yeah, so it's like a spray. And you just
Mm.
spray, and it just literally burnt your eyes and
Whoa.
bleached
Oh
your
God.
hair. Yeah.
Yikes.
So I
I
would
remember my
probably,
sister's blonde hair turning green one day and she was like
yeah.
crying in the bathtub, like, ah.
I would probably say the picture that I was on about earlier, I probably have got sun in bleach blonde hair. That's probably what it
Right.
was.
Amazing.
Oh, so cool.
Stargazer says my hair was dyed blue black.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I like
Sharon
that.
says mine was backcombed to death.
Oh, I love it. Like,
So
oh,
80s.
I
Like
love
Cyndi
that.
Lauper style. That's what I've got in my head now,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Oh, I love that.
Melina says my goth glam phase came after the sun in.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
I was like kind of half in it and then I just went full like,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's one more sign of the times that I noticed, which was that Piper mentions Prue hitting the classifieds to get a new job.
Ah,
I
nice
don't
spot.
I don't know if classifieds are still a thing.
No,
I know there's like
yeah.
Gumtree and stuff, but
Yeah. Oh, those were the days and you get the paper and
yeah,
circle
circle
the
the
jobs.
jobs. Like in
Oh,
Don't
I
Tell Mum
love
the
that.
Babysitter's Dead, and she's like
Yeah.
crossing out McDonald's and Yeah.
Oh, those were the days. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. How about some charming dialogue?
Yeah, so
Hit me with your best lines.
hit me with your best dialogue. Um, so I wrote a few down, but I'll just pick a couple. So I've got when Piper says, so Doug's about to drop something, and Piper says, "Sorry, Doug, too poop to pop," and just lets the
Yes.
bars fall instead of
Yeah.
freezing it. I love that. And then my other one I've got is the a Doug line where he says,
You're
"Who
obsessed with
cares?"
Doug
I
Shelley.
know, I know. He was just, I thought he was great. Where he says, "Who cares about Shelley when I've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday all lined up and waiting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Doug, you go for it.
Oh, we love
You go for
Shelley.
it."
They're so
Oh
sweet
dear.
together.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, how about you?
I've got two. The first one is when Phoebe is bribing Prue to take the urn to auction as a
Mm.
favor to her, and Phoebe says, "I'll cook you dinner," and Prue says, "Oh, don't threaten me."
Yes, that's a good one. I like that one.
And then Piper again in the whole freezing scenario.
Mm.
Piper says, "I'm getting a little freeze frazzled. It's draining."
Oh, freeze frazzled.
Freeze
Oh, I love
frazzled.
it. Oh, nice spot. I like
Down
that
in
one.
frazzle freeze. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
It's a good one.
So who was your sister of the week this week?
So for me, it was Phoebe because I think
Yeah.
she shows good judgment. She shows how much faith she has in humanity by
Hmm.
her actions instead of just assuming the worst right off, a bit like Prue was doing. And basically, Alyssa Milano's acting in this episode, I think, just stepped up a notch
Mm.
and was, the reason why she was so many people's favourite witch
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day. So I just think, yeah, Phoebe for me in this one. How about you?
Yeah. I was between Piper and Phoebe, but I think
Mm,
eventually Phoebe is my sister of the week, just because
mm,
she gets the proper arc, and like you said, she really sells it really well.
yeah,
She navigates that tricky romance really effectively, I think.
yeah, definitely.
And is it her first love interest of the season or ever?
Major love interest,
Because
right?
she kind of has a
Because
weird date with Rex, but
yeah.
that doesn't count.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like yeah, and you hear about a couple of because there was that guy who she spent the night with at the house and then came and drank the milk, but
Oh
he was
yeah,
just like,
Hans.
yeah, that's it, Hans.
Yeah, I forgot
Um
about that.
but that's in a major love interest, I think.
Like her first romantic,
Yeah.
when there isn't a
One that
spell
you could tell
involved,
she was
or
quite serious about, definitely.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
loved
good.
it.
I'm glad that you agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stargazer says Phoebe was my sister of the week. Sharon says definitely Phoebe. Ladies
Mm,
Library also says Phoebe.
yeah.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because
So hard.
sometimes when like the A plot is a particular sister,
Mm,
you almost automatically go for them
yeah.
when maybe it's not necessarily they're not the best in the episode. But I
Yeah.
do think that Phoebe did win out in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. And as I say,
Yeah,
even I just felt like her acting stepped up a notch as well
yeah,
in this one.
totally. Yeah.
Definitely.
How many brooms out of five are you going to give this episode?
So this was hard, right? Because I went through and I was looking like what I'd given the others. So, and online, this episode really gets a bad rap, and I'm like, I
It
don't think it
does.
deserves a bad rap. So I liked
Yeah,
it more than Dream Sorcerer, and definitely liked it more than the wedding one. So I think
yeah.
3 brooms for me on this one.
Okay,
Almost a 3.5, but no, let's go for 3.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm just messing around while you're talking because I'm trying to find. This is my book that is full of like all my charmed
Oh
clippings,
yeah.
and I was obsessive about collecting the reviews of the episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just look for
See
season
if you can
one.
find it. Yeah, because when I was looking, just to see what other people thought of the episode, like everyone was like,
Yeah.
"This episode is the worst one. It's got no depth, no this," and I'm like,
Oh.
It does have
Ooh, okay.
depth."
So this is a photocopy of the
Oh
episode.
wow!
from a
look at
magazine,
that.
like an episode guide.
Yeah, love that.
My pen pal back in the day photocopied it from her magazine and sent it to me.
Oh, that's so
Um,
cool. That's so 90s.
I know. So, Feats of Clay in this episode guide, it got 2 stars out of 5.
Oh, see, people didn't like it.
And so it says, the review says, a step backwards after the greatness of 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐲. This is so straightforward you could draw lines along it. Lots of coincidence, Phoebe's involvement, Andy turning up, failed to generate any interest at all, and at the end of the day, it's not a bandage on the mummy. Oh,
Wow, that's a
way
bit
harsh.
harsh.
Way
Yeah,
harsh pie.
that's like really harsh. But
Ian
I kind of get
Atkins.
what they're saying. It's coming off the back of 2 really good episodes. And I
Yeah,
guess like so was Dream Sorcerer before
yeah.
Dead Man Dating?
It was
It was
right
after.
after.
Yeah, so they obviously they knew what they was doing, putting like good episodes together, then just
Yeah.
filtering the not so good one.
Dream
Yeah.
Source, Dream Sorcerer in my magazine, it got
Oh,
1 star.
1 star.
And it
Oh.
says that it's hard to find anything good in this episode. It steals from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
The
yeah.
acting's terrible.
Oh, we did say that.
The love spell subplot runs like a Diet Coke advert, and the most supernatural event is cop Andy's realization of what's going on.
I think that one's
Amazing.
quite accurate for that one.
Yeah.
But
Look at the
yeah.
picture of Piper with no bangs
Yeah.
in 𝐒𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐲. She looks so glamorous.
Yeah, she does. Oh, I love it.
So glam.
Oh,
I've
I love
basically
that
got
you've got that.
I've got all the reviews pretty much up to the end of the season, so there's a little season 4
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But yeah, if you want to see more, I'll totally share
Yeah,
it with you. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
maybe
share.
next
That's
month.
so cool. That's so
Thanks.
so cool. Oh dear. So
So
yeah,
shall I
for
just see
me,
what
I
everyone?
think 3. What did you rate it?
I also did you say 3? Yeah,
I said 3.
I would rate it 3 out of 5. It wasn't
Yeah.
It's probably one of my least watched episodes. Weirdly, like I've rewatched
Mm,
Charmed a lot over the
yeah.
years, but this one I don't really go near. I think because it's not particularly interesting.
Yeah.
There isn't much flashbang wallop going
Yeah.
on. It's
Yeah.
very drama.
Yeah.
Um, but I like the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a stepping stone episode that sort of fills in some feedback story.
Yeah.
I think it gets an extra star for introducing Claire, basically, the boss.
Yeah. I think so.
I love a stern
Yeah.
matriarch.
Yeah.
That's why I like you, Chelley.
I was gonna say, is that why we're friends? I'm like, do it, Josh.
Yeah. Melina says 2.5 brooms out of 5. Absolutely
Okay.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Sharon says 3 brooms.
Yeah.
Stargazer says 3.5 brooms. A broom and a
Oh.
half of that is for Clay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lane's Library says 3.5 brooms.
Yeah. So yeah, how weird that we're like we've watched it now and we're more open to it being an okay episode than maybe back in the
Yeah.
90s. Back in the 90s, we
More
would have been like,
tolerant.
yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speedway Chick says two brooms.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's episode 11. We're
Woohoo!
officially halfway through now. This
I
is it.
know. It's amazing. I can't believe it.
I feel like we should read a spell or something.
I
Let's
love
not do
it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what spell could we do?
Yeah, I don't know. I won't be bored. Shall I just look at the first one that I find?
Yeah, just like flip a
Oh,
page.
it's in Latin.
Oh, Josh!
Oh, it's in English on the other side.
Oh, okay.
To cast a protective circle,
Oh.
you need lavender, rosemary, 4 half apples. Make a circle around the thing you'd like to protect and throw 1 apple in each direction of the wind. Chant knowledge and reverence, knowledge and reverence, knowledge and reverence. That's totally what we're doing. We are doing knowledge and reverence.
I love that. How weird is that you picked that one?
Magic.
Love it.
Amazing. Knowledge and reference, Chelley.
Knowledge and reference.
Okay, let's move on to episode 12.
Woohoo!
The Wendigo.
I'm so glad I didn't have to pronounce it.
The Wendigo. The Wendigo
yeah, you see that thing?
Yeah.
That's probably how I would have said it, yeah.
When Piper is attacked by a vicious monster, she is saved by the mysterious Billy and escapes with just a scratch on her arm. However, Piper starts to feel a bit icky, and she learns that the creature that attacked her was a Wendigo, which is a werewolf-like creature who eats the hearts of people in love.
Yum, yum.
And Piper may be turning into one, basically.
Things get hairy.
Things are going to get hairy-armed. Meanwhile, Phoebe gets a job as Prue's secretary.
Yeah.
And attempts to solve a decades-old cold case when she gets a premonition from a bracelet.
Woohoo! Wahoo! I totally didn't plan that. Oh dear.
So, Demon of the Week, we'll start with that one.
Yeah.
It's called the Wendigo, so we're going to start with the Wendigo.
So cool.
So as I mentioned, it's a creature like a werewolf that feeds off people's hearts. It's got this whole mythology that I believe is derived from Native American mythology. And it's about someone's heart going cold and they turn into a werewolf and they lose a love. A Wendigo. I'm going to say that a lot. So the episode initially plays around with who's the human who is the Wendigo.
Yeah.
So did you guess who the Wendigo was?
I didn't until the point she was leading Billy off. When she got to then, she was like, no, let's go this way instead. And I was like, yeah, it's you. Like I knew then. I was like straight away. At first I did just think that she was like a little new love interest for Andy.
Yes.
To be honest, because they're flirting. But yeah, I loved that it was like a creature feature episode, and I just loved the whole thing. I think I'm really like I love like a creature feature, and I don't think I read or watch enough of them. And then when I do, I'm like, why don't I just love this stuff. I love the whole like mythology behind them, everything. I just love it.
And it's it's one of the first like full on head to toe monsters.
Yeah.
Because we had the bridesmaids.
Scary, right?
Yeah. Yellow eyes.
It reminded me to shave my legs. I was like, note to self, shave my legs tomorrow.
You don't want to be a Wendigo.
Don't look like a Wendigo.
No. Oh dear. Because we had the bridesmaids who were quite demonic when they transformed. But other than that, it kind of has been just regular looking people, like warlocks, type people.
Just normal people.
Yeah, very cool to have an actual monster.
Yeah, I loved it.
It felt like the most Buffy style.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly the same. It felt like a very Buffy episode.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, oh yeah, I like it.
Because like the makeup, the Wendigo makeup wasn't a million miles away from the later seasons of Buffy for Seth Green's werewolf makeup.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is I do feel like we find out the identity a little bit too early. I would have liked, so I would have liked it to have been a bit more, I think towards the end when they're like in the forest. I would have liked to have found out then, and maybe Billy not being killed off so early and him being in the mix in that forest and having a little bit more of a like, who is it kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I do feel like we get it a little bit, it's too early for me.
Yeah.
Wanted a bit more suspense.
I think because it is kind of, I pretty much guessed it immediately. So I feel like because it's so easy to guess, I was
Mm.
glad that they got the reveal out of the way really
Oh,
early.
okay. Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
I thought they kind of did miss a trick where they could have had so much fun playing around with who the
Yeah,
werewolf actually
they
is.
could have put a few more extra people in because you had Billy.
Yeah.
That's all you really had, really. But you
Yeah.
had like
You have
they could have
Billy
put
and
a
the
couple.
FBI agent, and
Yeah,
that was
you could have
it.
put a few more extra people in
Yeah.
just to give it a little bit more of a, who's it going to be kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I feel like they really missed a trick in not having Leo in the episode because
yeah.
he's already mysterious. You don't really know what his deal is.
Oh, yeah. That would
Um,
have been cool, actually.
and then there's the whole sort of theme of the Wendigo only attacking people who are in love, who have like heart love in their
Mm.
heart.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Leo isn't even mentioned once.
Yeah, they could have done that
So they
because
could
you
have played
kind of
around with if he was the werewolf or not.
yeah, and then you kind of get that thing because obviously Billy saves Piper, and you
Hmm.
kind of get that thing where like Piper almost is like a little bit like adoringly at Billy,
Right.
so that would
Because
have been a
he
good
has that awful cat up
contrast.
line.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
it's just attracted to people or something like gorgeous or
yeah,
like, yeah, I don't know.
gorgeous people,
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
people or something. But yeah,
yeah,
but then you would have had that contrast with Leo. Then that would have been cool, actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really sort of clarify the fact that she was attacked because of
Mm.
how she was feeling about Leo's.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
bizarre. Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of a shame.
I also thought as well, like, I don't know whether it's just because I had it on Blu-ray, but at the end with the whole showdown, like, when they first, I love that the Wendigo is like scared of flare guns.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether that was part of the mythology or just like for Charmed, I wasn't sure. But
Yeah.
when they fire the first flare gun, you see like the person behind the bush, like one of the crew, like run. So they obviously set something
No.
off in the tree. Yeah, you actually can see it. If
Whoa.
you go back and just look, you see someone like run as soon as she fires it. He obviously sets something off and runs
No
away from it.
way.
Yeah, but I don't know whether it was just because like I was watching it on the Blu-ray that I noticed it.
Yeah, high def, unforgiving high
mm,
def,
yeah.
warts and all.
Mm.
Talking about Billy, so he's the survivor. He saves Piper. He's hunting the I keep wanting to say Wendigo.
Let's just say Wendigo because it's
He's
so
hunting the
funny.
Wendigo because the Wendigo killed his fiance.
Yeah,
Um, but
tragic.
but Billy gets killed off by the end of the first ad break by
Yeah, and it was
the FBI agent.
brutal.
It's like spins his
Yeah,
head all the way around.
it was a bit like
Um,
whoof, wasn't
I
it?
know it was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah. So were you sad when he died? Did you want him
not
to do a bit more?
really. Because I was already made up my mind that he wasn't really that upset about his fiance or whatever being killed off by the Wendigo. So I know he says like, "Oh," but he didn't mean
Yeah.
it. He didn't come across genuine. So no, I wasn't really that bothered. I was a bit like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, he's gonna die." Oh, that was brutal.
Was he wearing the same coat that Leo wears? Or was that just the fashion of
Oh,
the time?
must have been. It could have been.
Those kind of like weirdly thin beige
Mm,
jackets that don't really seem to serve any purpose because they look gross and
yeah.
they aren't warm. So
I
why would you
think
wear them?
I think it was the fashion of the time because I'm sure my ex-boyfriend from around that time had a similar jacket, like this beigey thing.
Yeah. With
So I
almost like
wonder.
a sort of like almost like a corduroy collar.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
bizarre.
Very strange.
Yeah. Speedway Chick says that Billy had just lost his fiance and was then hitting on Piper. No,
Exactly.
Sky.
Like he just didn't. No.
Yeah.
But I wonder
Shy.
whether that was to try and make us think that he might be. See, if they strung it out and
Yeah.
didn't, then he could have been a good suspect.
Totally. Sharon says, happy to see the demise of Billy. I'm starting to feel sorry for Billy now. Stargazer says Billy being a smoker in California was never going to last long. They hate smoking in California and probably did even in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Lane's library is laughing about Piper's wooden spoon. Yeah.
The wooden spoon.
She gave it a go.
How was that even going to work?
I know. Yeah. She gave it a good go, didn't she?
Yeah, bless. Bless her.
So should we move on to Love is Pain?
Yeah, love is pain.
So Agent Fallon ends up paired with Andy because just I don't know why.
Random. Yeah.
And they both try to track down the Wendigo. It gets sort of flirty. She basically says like, "I'm gonna get naked" or something. I don't know.
Flirty. It was like cringe. I was like
Yeah,
cringing.
I
But
bet she's
even
a bit
it,
like, "Oh,
I don't.
yes."
He was loving it.
He was
He
loving
was
it.
loving it. I think at one point when they say they're going to go and stake out the Wendigo at night,
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, we'll go to the park," blah blah, and he goes, "I'll bring my flare gun," like in a really sexual way, and I'm like, "Ew, no," and it's the way he says it, and like just the
yeah.
deadpan delivery. I'm
He's
like.
gonna shoot from the hip.
It's gonna be sparks are flying. It's just the way he says it. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, and then even
sleazy. Sharon says, yeah,
yeah, even like the whole thing. I think I wrote it down because it just made me laugh. Where, um, so Fallon says, "Now all I care about is having sex," and Andy kind of stares off into space. And then
yeah.
she says, "Does this shock you?" And he goes, "Not really. I was just wondering where you were when I was in college." I'm
Yeah.
like, Andy.
She's
Oh,
new in town. She's the FBI.
yeah. Like
Maybe
he
that
was
turns him
kind of
on. He
he,
likes a tough woman.
he was loving it. He
Yeah.
was really loving it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it kind of like it gave a little bit of an emotional connection that we probably needed in the episode, but it just didn't work.
No.
No,
Yeah.
it was too cringy.
So, and also, like Andy says, that Piper is as much his sister as Prue and Phoebe's.
Yeah, I love that. No, I
Bit,
loved.
bit weird.
Did you think that was a bit weird?
That's a
It
bit
did.
like,
It did come across a little bit like because at one point I did think, "Oh, is he fancying Piper now?" Like it
no,
did like cross my mind, and then I was like,
no,
"No, Chelley, no,
don't
get that
do this.
flare gun and blast it out of
Yeah.
your mind." Yeah. So
Um,
yeah.
he also he thinks that the killer is performing a like ritual, something
Yeah.
ritualistic rather
Yeah.
than it being like a monster.
Yeah.
Um, so are you confused about what Andy believes in?
Yeah, a little bit because I think by
Yeah.
the end of the episode, he does say he was more open to it being a monster, I think. But yeah,
Mm,
you'd think by now, like he'd get the hints and that it's something, you know,
yeah.
not normal. Um,
He's
but
basically
maybe he's
had
in denial
11.
a little bit.
Yeah, but you think like he's had 11 supernatural cases on the trot. Do you think that he'd start kind of going, oh, wait a
Oh.
minute?
Especially like in the very first episode when he went to like a shop, like a supernatural
Right.
shop, or whatnot. So I
And he
always
knows
thought he
what
was quite,
anathema is, and
yeah, always thought he was quite open minded. But then maybe it was a bit like because obviously you've got the FBI there, he can't really
mm,
be seen to be showing that side. Maybe.
true.
Hmm.
Do they mention Mulder and Scully? Because I feel like they really should have.
They really
As
should
like,
have.
yeah, I'm sure that I think they do. I can't remember
Yeah. I wonder whether
though.
that's the vibe they were trying to go for, but it just came across really
They
cringy.
were, they
Yeah, they
were
were definitely.
completely. I kind
Yeah.
of wish that Morris had been in the episode so that he could be sort of rolling his eyes and,
Like the voice of reason in the background.
yeah, like
Yeah,
this is
why wasn't
gross,
he
guys.
there? He must have been on holiday.
Yeah, in my sort of brain imagining of what he's doing, I feel like maybe he sort of got shot in the line of duty and he's taken a time out.
Yeah. But the thing
Yeah.
is, if they had him in the episode, he could have been another suspect, couldn't he?
Oh
See?
yeah, like maybe he had a scratch on him.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
They
there's
really
so
missed
much
a
they could have
trick.
done. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they really did.
definitely.
Uh, Sharon says, "You're my sister now" vibes. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, it was a bit.
Stargazer says, "I'm not invested enough in Andy to care what he thinks. He just has the hair, as far as I'm concerned." Yeah.
Oh, poor Andy.
Oh, my headphones are dying.
Oh.
Sharon
Oh.
says, let's be honest, he is a rubbish detective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bit
he kind
bad.
of is.
Yeah,
When
a
he
bit
when he
bad.
solves it, he sort of solves it by accident, doesn't
Yeah, it's
he?
like,
Yeah,
yeah, the sisters make him look good, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, right, work it. It's time to work
Work
it.
it.
Let's work it.
Yeah.
So Phoebe wants to help out at Buckland's because she needs a job. Prue is hesitant at first, but she gives in and Phoebe tells her how amazing she is.
Yeah.
Overtime is my friend and all that stuff.
Oh, bless her.
So there's a huge opportunity for lots of hijinks with them as they work together. So
Mm.
what did you think of the actual subplot and how it all played out?
So I feel like we didn't need the subplot with the
Mm,
bracelet. I feel like it was overshadowed, and that could have been a whole episode of its own.
yeah,
Because I'll be honest, like I didn't really care about the bracelet.
no,
Even though like it was like a good storyline as well, that it could have been, something bigger. This, this daughter's gone missing and whatnot. This should have been a bigger thing than what it was. So I think it was just not needed, or it just didn't work in this episode.
yeah,
And as you say, there could have been more like between Prue and Phoebe within the work environment, like,
yeah.
bit of backwards and forwards there. It didn't work for me.
Yeah,
But
same. It felt
mm,
like it was sort of on a different timeline because
yeah,
she has the bracelet, has a premonition, tracks down the original detective,
mm,
finds the mom of the missing kid, finds the kid,
yeah,
arranges for them to meet up at the same time. It feels like that would have taken
yeah,
months.
yeah. I
It was
did
all a bit
just.
convenient.
Yeah, the bit that I did like though was when they were doing the auction, and then Prue
Yeah,
is like, flipping the boards off. Although one of the numbers does change, that I
it does.
noticed.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
magic.
yeah, I like that. But I did like that scene. That was good. But I wanted more of that if that was to continue with her work in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it was just not needed.
Because they're like it feels like it's setting up something really fun because there's
Yeah,
when she finally convinces Prue to let her work for her immediately she's like,
yeah.
hey, can I get a ride?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
missed more of that stuff,
You're
not
like,
this sort of
oh, yeah,
weirdly unemotional sob story sort of thing.
yeah. And I feel like maybe, obviously, the writers had this big idea about the Wendigo storyline, and they were just like, oh, what do we do with the other two? So I feel
Totally.
like it was just like a fit in just to get them to do something.
Yeah,
But it could have been such a good story and a good arc as well, having them working together
I
like a little
know.
bit longer.
Well, they were clearly trying to replicate what they did in Dead Man Dating when she's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
psychic Phoebe and she saves the guy and it's
Yes.
all hijinks
See,
and fun
that's what we
times.
wanted. We wanted something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because like you've
Mm.
already had quite a lot of heavy stuff going on with Piper turning into a Wendigo,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and all of like the love chat and love heart, love
Yeah.
sick, all that stuff. So to then
Yeah.
have this sort of quite heavy detective thing going on,
Yeah. It
it
just
just felt
didn't.
way too much.
Yeah. They should have put more effort into putting more suspects into the episode and having
Yeah,
Prue and Phoebe kind of investigating that rather than
exactly.
doing that. Yeah,
Because it
definitely.
is fun. It is fun when they have their separate things going on,
Yeah.
but also it's fun when you see them kind of all working together as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they have to
definitely.
choose. You kind of have to pick and choose, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you do
Yeah.
either of them.
Could
Yeah,
have done without that, definitely.
yeah. So you didn't
Shame.
shed a tear at the reunion scene, then, I'm guessing.
No.
um,
Because it didn't give me enough emotion leading up to that point. It was kind of just like, oh, okay,
yeah,
she's back. Like it
yeah,
just didn't work at all.
yeah.
Because I was
They
too
compressed it so
invested,
much.
yeah, and I was too invested in the Wendigo storyline than
Yeah.
the other one. So it's a shame.
I
It's a
also
shame.
found it quite confusing. Like, there's a lot to get your head around when she's talking about there's a car
Yeah,
crash, but he had the bracelet, but the girl wasn't in the car, presumably. But then
yeah,
there was some detective thing going on, and Mum was there, and yeah, it was very confusing.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, mythology.
Mm.
Have you got any observations about mythology in this episode?
So the only thing I got was, obviously it's the first time a sister is turning into something evil, which I thought was pretty cool, because it's like, oh, they're not protected, that this could generally happen to them.
Yeah.
And then obviously Piper being able to freeze whilst she is like the Wendigo, the
She's
monster.
still a witch. She's a
Yeah,
witch dingo.
so those powers are that powerful that even when she's, something else entirely, she can still use the power.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. I liked that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
It was
How
like,
about that was so fun.
as a monster.
I loved it.
I liked the explanation that in the first scene when Piper's attacked by the Wendigo,
yeah.
she can't freeze it because she's actually inside the phone box.
Oh yeah.
And the Wendigo's outside the phone box, which is like a fun little quirk
so she
of the
makes
power.
A reference, like, I think it's to Phoebe, isn't it? I can only do it in the room that I'm in.
Yeah.
Doesn't she? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was very clever. I liked that.
Yeah, that's cool.
I liked the sort of the slight flip where Billy is the one saving an innocent and Piper just happens to be that innocent, so it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah, I like that.
That was quite nice. But obviously he's gone pretty much immediately.
Yeah, and then other than like the obvious Phoebe touching things, Phoebe touching items at the auction house. Touching things at the auction house. I mean, that was obviously going to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah. And she can tell if it's the past or the future again.
Yeah. Yes, I like that as well.
Yeah.
She's developed the power a bit more, like Phoebe's done with the freeze, and developed it that she can tell now which is future, which is past, which is cool.
I wonder what the opposite of premonition is, because premonition must mean the future. So what's like recognition?
Is it regression or something like that?
Maybe.
If I'm right about that, like, I'm really impressed with myself, because
I've had a regression.
And it was a big word as well. Please, someone in the comments tell me if that is correct. If I am, I'm so proud. Oh dear, imagine if I was right there. Oh, I sound brainy.
We're going to find out.
Someone look it up.
Even if it isn't that, we're going to use that now.
Oh dear.
I liked that this is sort of the first time we see the FBI getting involved in the supernatural case.
Yeah.
It kind of happens a little bit over the course of the show. And it's funny, this episode, because the FBI agent clearly believes in the supernatural.
Yeah.
But then she's not. She's a monster anyway, so that's kind of why.
Yeah.
So
she's like a full-on believer, isn't she? Like full-on, which for obvious reasons.
But we still don't know if the FBI actually does believe in monsters, because she's kind of seems to be doing her own thing.
Yeah. Did we find out, like, why? Like, how did she get turned into the Wendigo?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't find that out, did we? Or did we? Like, why was she?
She kind of doesn't she allude to it before she says she just wants to have sex with everyone? Doesn't she allude to sort of, I had my heart broken or something?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
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 I don't know if she's meant to be like the original Wendigo.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how did she just have a heart broken and she turned really hairy? Like, we've all been there. Let ourselves go a little bit during heartbreak. But maybe.
Yeah. I love the illustration in the Book of Shadows with he's like, hey, like pointing.
Yeah, that did make me laugh.
Why did they draw it like that? It's not scary at all.
It's just like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Look, like, do you remember what was that film? Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons, that was it. Oh, it kind of looked like that in the Book of Shadows.
I'm trying to find it in my book, but it's quite a big book, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it.
If you find it, you'll have to like share it in
I will.
stories.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Oh, you got it.
I found him. There he is.
Oh
A
no, it's gonna
Windingo.
make us
He
a
looks like he's on the dance floor
Windingo.
going, wee.
It's like almost like how you
He's
doing.
like, he's like,
Fancy going the rainbow room?
yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Oh, bless him.
Oh, dear.
The only other thing that I noticed, which again is more of a continuity thing, is
Yeah.
that red bridge that they go across. They use that again in season 4 in Enter the Demon when they have sort of like a martial arts fight over the bridge, which is kind of
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
I love that you know all these facts.
I think
So
it's a
cool.
local. I think it's a local park in Los Angeles somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like that.
Speedway Chick says flashback memory. How can it
Oh.
be if it's not your life memory? Sharon says regression is recalling old memories.
Oh, so I was kind of like,
Uh,
meh.
Speedway Chick says if Piper freezes the room and someone walks in, do they freeze too?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I'm sure it has happened. I don't know if they break the freeze by coming into the room.
Yeah.
I can't
Because
remember.
didn't it, in one of the previous episodes, didn't she freeze the kitchen and then Andy was
Yeah.
like walking, so that fits with the whole she can only freeze in the room. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Stargazer wants to know why Piper would even run into the phone box. It was basically just a big glass cage.
Because it's the 90s.
Yeah, it's a very horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stargazer says, I didn't stop to notice if Wendigo Piper had bangs or not. Yeah.
if not, I bet she got a phone call after saying you should have had
Yeah.
bangs in that scene.
Yeah, that monster needed to have bangs.
Apparently, she did have to put the contact lenses in, and she hated it. Apparently,
Yeah. Everyone hates those things.
yeah. Oh, I couldn't
Not
do
comfy.
it. No, I couldn't.
Because they cover, like, they're bigger than regular contacts. They have to cover the
Yeah.
whole eye.
Ooh,
Grim.
no, not nice.
All right, so the sister bond.
Yeah.
Prue lets Phoebe work with her, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that is a big
especially
deal.
because the last kind of like work-related drama they had is the thing that actually made Phoebe leave San Francisco, because Roger kind of came onto Phoebe and it put a wedge between Randy Roger.
He's a bad un.
So that was Prue's co-worker and boyfriend and fiance, I think.
I think so.
And he makes a pass at Phoebe, who does reject him, but Prue gets the wrong end of the stick. So, what did you think of this sort of like them working together as like a sign of their evolving relationship?
Yeah, so I liked as I said, if it was in a different episode, the working together, Prue and Phoebe. I nearly said Piper then.
Too many P's.
I know, I'm like, what? I nearly said Peeper. Prue and Phoebe working together would have worked so well.
Yeah.
As I said, for me, it didn't work in this episode, but I really loved it when they were all back together, and obviously they see Piper and what's happening to her, and they're just straight into action. We're not going to let this happen to our sister. That sister bonds back straight away. And then they just kick into action to try and solve it. And I love that. I thought that was good. That's proper sister bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that they'd played up Piper being kind of a bit of a monster to her sisters.
Yeah.
Because she kind of says, you can't even hold down a job. And it's like, well,
she just say bitch to
I know.
But,
I felt like they could have gone harder with that.
They could have gone full exorcist.
Yeah, completely.
Your mother. No, I won't say it.
Because Piper is she's such the peacekeeper.
Yeah.
That I would have loved it if she had a whole load of stuff stored up, that she just never ever got to say because she's too kind or too scared to speak
Yeah,
her
so she just lets
voice.
it out in that moment.
Yeah, like it would have been far more powerful and emotional if she'd actually just
Yeah.
vented.
Yeah, it would have been so
Um,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny just to see the scenes where she is saying those things. And then
yeah,
alongside as well, when Phoebe goes to get the handcuffs and she's like, ta-da!
yeah.
Oh, that was
Classic
great.
Phoebe.
But
Paige does
yeah.
something similar in season 5. Paige has handcuffs
Ah,
from
yeah.
Friday night, she says. Yeah,
But yeah, so I liked it more when they were all together in this episode and
yeah,
working together. Even
totally.
like the hospital scenes as well, like when they rush to the hospital after Phoebe's been
Yeah,
attacked, like the whole conversation there. Like when they're together, it worked well. We didn't need the
yeah,
side plot,
yeah,
not at all.
exactly.
Yeah,
No, we didn't need it.
no.
Did you spot any signs of the times?
So obviously the phone box, I was like,
Yeah, in
that's
the middle of
it, in the
nowhere.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I thought there was a mention of Phoebe searching the web at some
Oh,
point, and
yeah.
but I wasn't sure whether I'd got confused with another episode because I tried to go back to find it and then I couldn't find it then.
Mm.
But I thought she like apologised to Prue for tying up the phone lines, but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it means they're
maybe.
still on the dial up at
Yeah.
the house. But I could be getting muddled up there in another episode.
Yeah. That sounds really familiar. I feel like it was really
Yeah,
recently.
yeah,
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I didn't spot anything else. The phone box
No,
obviously was a massive one.
yeah. Even the fashion in
Um,
this one was very,
yeah.
low key as well.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously Piper sporting the Wendigo costume.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if like the Fallon's haircut was quite 90s, that sort of short
Yeah.
Terry Hatcher
Yeah,
style.
kind of like, because if you think of single white female with Bridget
Yeah.
Fonda, like that kind of style, it was
Yeah.
very much like late 90s short
Exactly.
short style, wasn't it?
Pixie.
Yeah,
Almost like a pixie. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But she
Yeah.
did suit that short hair. Like I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, and
Fits.
she looked like really powerful as well and
Yeah.
pretty and with them big lips. She did have big lips though, didn't she? I
I didn't notice, to be honest.
was like,
She had quite
oh.
big eyes, I thought. She had quite sort of Wendigo eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hit me with your charming dialogue.
So I've got Phoebe saying, so when she grabs the flare gun, off why have I
Prue.
forgotten from Prue? Why have
Prue?
all the names gone out of my head? So she goes, my turn. This time we don't fire until I see slobber on its face. And I love
Yes.
that. I was like, yeah.
Go, Phoebe, go.
And then I liked the line at the start when they asked Piper to describe what she's seen, and she says, "Describe it? Okay, big, scary, strong, kind of like a cross between a werewolf and Charles Manson."
Yeah. With the shaggy hair.
Yeah. So that did make me laugh, but it was kind of a good description, right?
Yeah, it was. It was completely.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah.
Oh, how about you? Did you get
I
anything?
liked Piper again at the very start of the episode when Phoebe's sort of like saying, "Be careful. There are horrible things out there."
Yeah.
Piper says, "I have the power to freeze. It's better than mace."
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that one because that's quite
True.
factual.
Which is
Yeah, you
fine.
can freeze, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If she hadn't run to the
perfect.
phone box, then she would have been able
Yeah,
to freeze it perfectly fine.
yeah. Oh dear, bless her in that little
Yeah.
phone box. And it kind of reminded me a bit of the scene. We read My Secret Admirer for Point High Book Club, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
whole phone box scene in that book where the girl goes in the phone box and she's trapped in the blazing sun of the glass, and then this
Ooh.
motorbike keeps like driving up up to her. It's all very dramatic, but I was like,
I
oh,
remember that,
it must
yeah.
have been a thing. Like even the front cover of the American copy of that book has got like the phone box scene on with the
Right.
motorbike and the guy with the jazz hands. But
Yeah.
it must have been like a 90s thing. Phone
Phone
box,
boxes.
phone
Like Bill
box
and Ted.
torture.
That was
Yeah,
80s, but Bill and Ted travelling in their
yeah,
phone box, yeah.
exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
must have been a big thing back then.
Yeah. And is there a moment in Back to the Future where the phone box does something funky?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe in the second film, Back to the
Yeah,
Future 2, when they're
maybe.
in the
Yeah,
future. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My one other charming dialogue is when Phoebe's talking about her and Prue both going to, or when saying to Prue, when you're going to work, Phoebe
Mm.
says, "Whoa, head rush when we're going to
When
work."
we're going to work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a Phoebe thing to say as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Love it.
that.
So Stargazer says, did anybody else notice the FBI taking time to throw her clothes into a neat pile while she was turning into the Wendigo?
She'd just done it that many times that she was like, I can't keep affording to replace these clothes. So I've got to take them off neatly, fold them, and then they'll be preserved for when I
Yeah.
turn back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sharon says that dial-up sound still makes me grit my teeth.
Yeah. Funny enough, me and my mum were talking earlier about the old like Spectrums, like back in like the late 80s, where you had to put the tape in and then you'd like press it to load up and it would go like dial up and it'd have like a thing around the screen, like to
Oh,
dial up. So it kind of reminds me of that, yeah.
I didn't know
To
about
dial up,
this.
to load up even.
Yeah,
And then it would take
yeah.
like about an hour and then like if it froze then you had to do it all again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was kind of like telling Corey and I was like, you haven't lived, Corey, you have not lived.
Yeah, you're so lucky. Stargazer says, I immediately thought of My Secret Admirer as well, Chelley.
Yeah, it's so
There you
vivid,
go.
like such a yeah, such a vivid scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
phone box terror.
yeah. Melina says, oh my gosh, yes, computer game tapes, the trauma.
The trauma, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
dear, the amount of times they loaded up and then just froze and you had to start again.
Oh my God.
Nightmare.
Technology. So who is your sister of the week?
So it's obvious to me it's Piper, which I know we
Yeah.
kind of said like we shouldn't always go with the person who's at the forefront,
The A plot, yeah.
but Piper 100% like she was turning into a Wendigo. She was hairy. She was like, but even like the way Holly plays her in
Yeah.
that moment, you actually really, really feel scared for her, and like the sweat and the way they make her
Yes.
so pale, like you really do fear for her in that moment and think,
Yeah.
is this going to be part of her life now?
Yeah.
So for me, definitely, yeah, definitely Piper, and just for
Yeah.
wearing them yellow contacts as well.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
about you?
Piper for me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's so like heartbreakingly believable when she's
yeah,
burning up and she's scared and she looks at her
yeah.
arm and she's like shaking and
She just doesn't know what to do, even with all that
yeah.
power that she's got and she's learned to use better. Like she can't help
Hmm.
herself in that moment. She's
Yeah.
helpless.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, what struck me was as well, she doesn't automatically go to her sisters for help either. They come to her. And I thought
True.
that just shows how weak and that she
Mm.
felt in that moment and how poorly. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
she really
exactly.
does, the acting that she does is really, really good in that.
And she's so, like we've talked about this before, I'm sure, but she's so skilled at sort of jumping between being funny, being
Yeah.
sort of like you worry for her, she's scared. So
Mm.
like the moment when she's got her forehead on the frozen bit of meat in the freezer.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and the guy says, "What are you doing?" Yeah, and she's like, "Dying." You know, that's really funny.
Yeah,
But then
definitely.
you immediately are really worried for her because she
Yeah.
looks so unwell.
Yeah, she really, really does. The
Yeah,
makeup department did a really
she
really
looks
good job.
sick.
She really did. And I love
Yeah,
the whole scene when she transforms into the Wendigo as well. Then you
yeah,
see her like in the full form and rah, with the handcuffs and the pipe.
yeah. And like the
I love
hunchback as well, the enormous hump on the back.
that. Yeah,
That was a choice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Sharon says Piper, she acted the fear and loss of control so well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really did.
Stargazer says that perfectly rectangular patch of fur. I mean, I think referring to the arm.
The arm. We've all
Yeah.
been there. You should have seen my
Oh.
legs this morning. That would have been a sight to see.
You should have seen my eyebrows the other day. I was, oh my God, I'm getting old man eyebrows. It's time to do something about that.
Oh dear.
Speedway Chick says Piper looked so unwell, and Angie was like, "Okay, see you later."
She's like, I've got flu, go away.
Yeah. And Speedway Chick also says the random inspector at the restaurant, and Piper was in the freezer with meat on her head.
Oh yeah. Oh bless her.
Oh.
Poor Piper.
How many brooms are you going to give this one out of 5?
Well, I really enjoyed this episode. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it. So I
Yeah.
gave it a 4 because the whole other storyline lost a broom for me.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 4 because I had fun with it, and I just enjoyed it. It made me smile all the way through, and I was fearful for Piper. So I went through a whole range of emotions.
Yeah.
I had the ick a little bit with Andy, and
Yeah.
So I gave it 4. How about you?
Shall I give you the review of the Wendigo in
Oh
my...
yeah, go for it.
Okay, so 1 star.
1 star. What? 1. No.
Bad. Every horror genre show does the werewolf thing at some point, though even the X-Files' Shapes did it better than this. Within 10 seconds, you know who the monster is. Scream. The flare gun finale is quite exciting, even if Prue couldn't hit a barn door at 10 paces.
1. It doesn't deserve 1 star. I can't agree with that because there's no way it's the same in the same. No, it's not the same. Not as bad as Dream Sorcerer.
No
Way.
Not. I mean, they also gave I've Got You Under My Skin 1 star, which is episode 2.
I think we gave that like 4 or
No,
something.
I gave that 2, I think.
Oh, we'll have to look back and have a look.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Dead Man Dating 5 stars.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
1 star. I'm shocked. I'm shook. It doesn't deserve 1 star. There's me. I'm like 4 solid.
Loved it.
I just had fun with it, so I was like,
Sharon says 4. Lane's Library says 4.
Oh, yes.
Speedway Check says 3.5.
Yeah.
Stargazer says 3.5. I missed Clay.
I missed Clay.
I missed Leo.
Yeah, we want to know that.
Sharon says the 90s was harsh.
Yeah.
Speedway Chick says more stars for the Wendigo alone.
Yeah, exactly.
See, Okay, Melina says 2.5 brooms for me because I'm not that much of a creature feature fan.
Oh, see, I always, as I say, I watch these things and I'm like, I need more creature feature stuff.
Ooh, that was the thing I noticed, that in this episode they used the shot of the moon that is in the opening credits of the show. Is that right? I think it is. It looks the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna clock that.
Like the blue clouds and the moon.
Cool. I like that. I like
that. I gave this one a 3.
Oh, interesting.
Slightly begrudgingly.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
Yeah. I just felt like the opening with Piper being attacked was really fun. And then it suffers from having a really obvious mystery.
Yeah.
and the subplot doesn't really fit the episode. It feels like it's kind of been
Yeah.
fast forwarded and you've missed a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like if I can think of things that I would have liked to see that might have worked better, then I don't think it's a very good episode.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's valid, to be honest. Like everything you've said,
Like, where was Leo?
valid, and we needed Leo.
Leo just should have been in it. It's about love.
Yeah.
You need more red herrings. Leo should have been in it. Anyway.
I mean, like, now in hindsight, now we've chatted about it, I probably would have said 3.5 brooms, but I'll stick with my 4 because
that's funny
obviously
because now we've chatted, I would say 2.5, but I'll stick with 3 because it's still not there.
I'll stick with the 4 just because I had fun with it and I liked it better than episode 11. So that was my judge.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. We're halfway through.
I know, I can't believe it. Yeah. I cannot believe it. I'm so glad to be doing this though, Josh. Like,
we're halfway
I'm
through
loving
the year.
it.
We're halfway through Charm season 1. And it's like things are just going to get better as you go along.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't
the show
wait.
gets better and better and better. So
yeah, I can't wait for what's to come.
Yay! Yeah,
so exciting, so exciting.
So we're going to do a post at some point to celebrate our halfway point, aren't we?
Yes, we are. So we're going to put up like all our ratings that we've given for each episode. Just need to figure out how to do it so it's not too much like so put up that and then maybe share like our favourite episode, but I think it's going to be the same. Like we're going to have the same one. We won't say.
We'll have to share them out.
Yeah.
But I get Dead Man's Dates. No.
Because when we was talking about it, I was like, we're definitely going to pick the same favourite one.
Maybe we'll have to do like the gold star episode that we all love.
Yeah.
And then our favourites.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll do like a little vote as well, like for, you know, to see like, in stories and that. That would be fun.
Yeah, so that everyone else can get involved.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Stargazer says, do we really have to wait another month? I know. The months are so long.
I know. It feels like, I think it was Speedway chick messaged me saying, when's Charm Chat? It feels like it's been ages. And I'm like, I know. It really does feel like it's been a long time. But yeah.
Nice something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone who was chatting with us. Thanks, Chelley.
You. And thanks for sharing your fab review things as well. It's so cool. Yeah,
there's more where that came from,
Chelley. 1 bloody star. All right then. See you later.
See you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.